Well, hello, everyone. We are here at FirstEnergy Stadium, where the Browns have just lost 23-21 to the Baltimore Ravens. Tom, every week it's a last-second field goal, and unfortunately for the Browns now, they've been on the losing end of two of these. What a heartbreaker this one was.
Yeah, and unlike the Pittsburgh game where they made a big charge at the end of the game, this was a game that I think the Browns just blew. They had chances to put them away. And were unable to convert on a couple drives late in the game that ended with 2 missed field goals, which could have given them a 7-8 point cushion. And the Ravens, with a good quarter, a Super Bowl winning quarterback, took advantage.
You know what they did? They had their opportunities to pull it out in the end. The difference was the 2 missed field goals by the Browns and 2 made field goals by the Ravens in the fourth quarter of the game. The Browns got another interception from Tayshaun Gibson. They couldn't capitalize on it. Billy Cundiff misses a 50-yard field goal. He thought he hit it well. Then he comes back on the next drive and has a 36-yarder blocked. So those two things were the difference in the game. And, I mean, the offense sputtered at the end, too.
You know, it's interesting. It's so rarely do words become prophetic. But, you know, Wilbur Montgomery, the fine Browns coach, we got him at training camp. And Wilbur was the coach of the Ravens the last 6 years. He was an assistant coach. And they asked him about his time there. And his quote about the Browns is just, what do you remember about playing against the Browns? And his quote was, "It's going to be a tough ball game, but in the end, we just have to hang in there, and they are going to find a way to lose." And boy, I mean, does that 2 months later, it's exactly what happened.
Well, Mike Pettin actually put this one on himself and the coaching staff. He felt like they did not put the Browns in position to win. All the players disagreed with him, but he talked about several 12 men on the field penalties, a freaky trick play to Johnny Manziel that should have been completely illegal. That was a weird situation because they completed a 39-yard pass from Brian Hoyer to Johnny Manziel. If the officials had called it correctly, it would have been a 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. Instead, it was just a 5-yard illegal shift on Terrence West. But that was another sign of they really weren't prepared in that situation.
Mary Kay, they took 94 yards in penalties and rushed for 91 yards today. 12 penalties is just inexcusable. You can't take that many penalties. You know, some big penalties on offense and defense. They just weren't. They weren't crisp and sharp enough to win a close game like this against still a pretty good team in Baltimore.
And you know what? Bernard Pierce, the starting running back for the Ravens, was out this game, and you would have thought, hey, that's a little bit of a break for the Browns. But their rookie running back, I'm not sure if I can pronounce it correctly, Lorenzo Taliaferro, I think I did that right, rushed for 91 yards, and Forsett rushed for 63. They give up 160 rushing yards. Once again, the rush defense caves.
Yeah, we've been writing about this for a couple weeks now, and it's, you know, the bye week probably comes at a good time for the defense, particularly the run defense. I think some of it is scheme, but some of it is still just losing at the point of attack. I mean, there were huge holes for some of these guys. You know, first week it was some missed tackles. This week I just think that they were just getting out-schemed or they're taking advantage of the Browns' over-aggressiveness to commit to one side. They run the wide zone blocking scheme the same as the Browns, so you're thinking, well, the Browns should know some of this stuff. It didn't help them today. And like you said, a rookie getting his first real chance rushes that well. They came into the game averaging 150 yards rushing against, and that got worse today.
Well, you know, there were also a couple of coverage issues. Joe Hayden gave up a huge play to Steve Smith at the end of the game that set up the game-winning kick. Justin Gilbert had a pass interference call against him. You know, these were big, huge fourth-quarter plays by the coverage team as well. So breakdowns all around, and it spoiled a really nice performance, at least through the first 3 quarters, by Brian Hoyer, who threw for 290 yards. He put 3 touchdowns on the board against a team that only had given up 1 the entire season. All 3 of those came in the red zone. They hadn't given up a red zone touchdown. So offensively, they kept trying to bail out the defense, but in the end, the defense and the special teams, I think, let the team down.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right, Mary Kay. It's those 2 phases. Yeah, Hoyer at the end missed a couple of completions at the very end of the game, but you know, I hate to say it's picky because you want your quarterback to come through at the end, but the defense and the special teams, you can't blow those opportunities on field goal attempts and expect to beat a good team.
And now they have to head into the bye week with this loss sticking in the craw. It's going to hurt for a long time. They could have been 2-1 heading into the bye, and they could have evened their division record at 1-1. Now they go to 0-2 in the AFC North. It's tough to claw back out of that. But we'll have it all for you here on cleveland.com over the next couple of weeks.